What is up? What is up? What is up? Each and every single person. For those of you watching live, thank you for joining me this evening. And for those of you watching the recording, I want to thank you once again for taking the time out. This is going to be more in depth in terms of trades that have already been called out, and I'm going to be reviewing a few of them. I'm also going to be going through the scanner and basically showcasing either trades that have happened to do some quick back testing. But I'm pretty much just going to freestyle this to um, just show and really like give you an idea of um, how trading, like, it's not always going to happen the way the way that you think trading is going to happen. There's a preconceived notion that every time you get on the charts, there's a trade happening, or that you get on charts and something's gonna happen, or like you're gonna take a position as soon as you see a trade happen, or as soon as you see a candle close, it's go time. I'm here to say that no, it's not. Sometimes it's all about just keeping updated and staying connected with the charts, and basically having your lifestyle congruent with your trading strategy and the parameters that you set in place. For me specifically, when I go live like this, and when I run through some of these trades and whatnot, it makes the most sense to me to just keep sharpening that axe. And I use these sessions as documentation because, documentation beats conversation every single time. If you show up with some real tangible results and you can see yourself and reflect and look back. I was watching a few of my older sessions and I realized the growth is strong, not just in the profits, not just in the setups, or just my eye for some of these zones and things that happen on the charts. But and it's also not to say that, like, my ego is too inflated and I'm too good for this and I'm only getting on here because people want to hear me. No, that's not why. It's because for the newest person, the person that wants to learn trading, the person that wants to genuinely invest in themselves, and they're using this as an outlet to grow their mind and just get in the mindset of a trader who's been in the trenches for so long. Not to say that, again, my chapter 20 is better than your chapter 1 if you are just starting a brand new, or if you've even been trading for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I want you to just simply do not believe what I say, do not believe what I say, simply have your own experience. So we're going to jump right into it. So for this, call this out on Friday, CADJPY. We did some adjusting. We saw some positions taking place, and now we're going to look back at it. So we go here to TradingView, adjust this a little bit. We go to CADJPY on the 1 hour. Interesting. It's still in the range. Pretty much when it was called out, this was the ceiling. And this wick to the body of these two candles, this red one and this green one right here, was my zone. It was a ceiling, broke the ceiling, became a floor, ceiling. The ceiling did not break. It did not break this ceiling and become a floor. This floor got broke and retested as a newfound ceiling. So what I'm also looking for is, how high is price? Price is extremely high up right now in terms of the AGB. Like this is what you see on the screen, the 3 lines right here, AGB. It's just a strategy with the EMAs. But all it says is that it's in a really high place, and it's showcasing momentum. Not only that, but with the harmonic scanner, it being called out for a 4-hour pattern, as well as a 1 hour, and I believe a daily as well too. So it's just giving me more insight to realize, like, hey, if this is a ceiling, broke the ceiling, became a floor, okay, created a new ceiling, but that ceiling did not get broken and retested as a new floor, that's automatically telling me that, hey, this might actually be something called a shift in momentum. This actually might be a place in the market where we can catch this initial move from here, this yellow circle, and be currently 10 to 15 pips in profit, be setting our 2 pip stop profits, and then trailing the rest to retrace back down to these lows here to complete the full pattern. So upwards of 300 pips. That could be $300. That could be 3,000. That could be 30,000. That could be 300,000. All depending on the capital and equity within your account. Now remember, trading involves risk. Past results do not indicate future results. Results are not typical, and it does require a lot of hard work, dedication, time, patience, effort to learn, as well as discipline, and also parameters with metrics. Now, it's easy for anybody to get on here and say that and make these claims of like, okay, yeah, you can make money from this. Trading truly does work, as I've previously discussed in my sessions prior. But what I'm trying to really drive home here is trading with the trend is always going to be your friend. The trend is your friend. That's a phrase that you hear often in trading, and it's true because, for example, if we were to be able to trap price down here and watch it, this is how it always bought backtest, and just to see what price was doing. So price was all the way down here, created a floor. So we just draw this up. We draw the floor. And once we draw the floor, we see that price bounced off the floor, went up, and then went down. So created a new ceiling. Okay. From there to there. Looks good to me. Perfect. So let's just say, for example, price is a floor, price is a ceiling. It makes its way towards the ceiling, bounces away from it, finally breaks above it, retraces back into that ceiling, confirms it as a new floor, and you were to take a position here. This right here is the reason why trend trading is so powerful. 260 pips potential, 250 potential, all the way to the upside if you were trailing and following structure. If you were trailing with stops, you would have probably caught somewhere in the neighborhood of 164 because your stop profits would go below structure, below, following it all the way up, all the way up. Then it made this huge impulsive move up and then retraced. Stops would go below here. And then it eventually came down and, took you out. So, but that's that 164 of the full potential of 200 and what was the full move? Yeah, 250 potential. So if you're catching 160 of a potential 250, that's like 60 to 70% of the entire movement. The market didn't give more than that. Sometimes the market only gives what it gives. And that's what I'm saying. When you get on charts, you wait for things to happen. It only gives you 30 to 50 pips, and then it retraces, and then it consolidates, and then it's indecision, and then it's left to right, and you're confused, and you're wondering what to do. Like I've always said before, it's always okay to reset. It's always okay to delete everything, or just even go back and backtest. Because what the backtesting is doing is it's your tuition. It's the cost of tuition. And every time you lose a trade, or every time your trade hits stop loss, that's your tuition that you're paying the markets to learn these lessons and to put yourself through these tribulations and trials, to put yourself in situations where you need to fully become aware of not only yourself, but your emotions. How hard is it to do that? Probably the hardest thing that you'll ever come across, because it is you versus you. It is you versus all the emotions you've ever had. It's you versus that, and controlling that and being aware of it and having discipline to act in a way even when your emotions don't align. The discipline is something that needs to be engraved into your brain, not because you know it's good for you, but because you've just committed to it. Like for me, for example, I don't have a choice. I do not have a choice. There's no other way. There is no other option for me. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to be doing. This is my plan. And I'm following through, and I will not waver, and I will not stop for anyone or anything. And that's my level of commitment. I speak it now. I manifest it now. Thank you, God. I appreciate it. I'm grateful. And that is my mindset, truly. I know it sounds a little hardcore, but imagine Kobe Bryant. I always go back to this Mamba mentality because, Chris Derrick studies him a lot. Like he's definitely like put time in on learning how he operates and how he moves. And if you just apply that same mentality to something like trading, to something like learning a high income producing skill set, wouldn't you be light years ahead of the person that's sitting on the couch questioning whether they should watch another episode or not? Questioning if they should do something different to get different results? If you expect something different and you're doing the same things over and over again, isn't that the definition of insanity? Pretty sure it is. Anyways, that's the mental as well. But let's get back into the charts. So look, price is trapped down here, and the only reason why I'm showcasing this is because we are able to see a break, see a retest, and I'll even go on lower time frames to show exactly what it would look like. So this yellow circle confirms and pretty much like our purple box right here. But do you see how the market is fully going up? And it's not like going up and then down and then up and then down. It's like fully just straight going up. This is what's known as a trending market. The market down here was trapped. So it's in consolidation. It's going down, up, down, up. Finally, it breaks one of these levels. It doesn't break the floor. It broke the ceiling. So let's go on the 15 minute so we can see this in more detail because we mark everything up on the 1 hour. And then you can proceed to go to lower time frames to see the market in more detail, more information because you need 4 15-minute candles to create one hour candle. So isn't this just the cleanest setup you've ever seen in your entire life? Who could have capitalized on this one? Every single person on this right now, every single person watching this could have set their chart up right over here with a ceiling, set an alert for when it finally broke out, set an alert for when it finally came back in the zone, waited, saw here, I'll get rid of this for now. Saw all these red candles and then finally green candle, green candle, green candle. That's confirmation. And you were to take it right here. Enter. Always go market execution. I never put limits. I never do buy stops, sell stops, anything like that. Always market execution. When I do that, here, let's even set it up like this too. Boom, that's our position. We go in here. We mark up a 30 pip take profit and a 30 pip stop loss. Boom. That is your trade. That is your strategy. Did it ever even go into the negative? No. Even if you were to press buy after these or like right after this candle, did it go negative? Yes, it actually did. It had a little bit of drawdown, but did it ever go anywhere near this 30 pip stop profit or stop loss? Did it ever go anywhere near it? No, it did not. So if you're capitalizing on these first initial moves after a break and a retest from a shift in momentum, this is essentially all we want to duplicate. This huge purple box here is where you're going to be in the trade for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 days. Because these vertical lines, these vertical dotted lines are called session breaks. And they happen at 16 p.m. Central Standard Time on my chart because I have it set up down here for UTC -5. It's just the time zone. So it's 12:16 for me right now. Whether you're in EST, whatever, you can configure this however you'd like so that it makes sense for your times. But every day at 4 p.m., it makes one of these vertical lines. And that just indicates there's 20. If I was on the hour, there would be 24 candles from this vertical line to this vertical line. And on the 15-minute, I think I don't know the math on that. There's enough to make up one day in 15-minute candles, right? So that being said, if you're setting your chart up down here, it takes, roughly half a day or more than 3/4 of a day for the setup to happen. and then you have to you're being patient for the rest of it and just trailing your stop, trailing your stop. How I've always been taught this is that you have a stop loss, right? And oh, let's make this red so it's more visual. Just to indicate your stop loss. Okay, cool, perfect. As soon as price from these 15-minute candles goes up 10 to 15 pips in profit. So that's 14. Yeah, like 13, 10 to 15, I always say. 10. So there's 10. Once it hits 10 and then immediately pretty much shoots up to 15, that's your like, hey, you got the trade right. It's going in the direction that you called out. Now, what you do is you make it risk free because 10 to 15 pips, it goes from this stop loss from 30 pips. You're wanting to take that and bring it right above your entry, just slightly, 2 pips. You could go 2, you could go 3, 4, 5. I've even seen like, 6 or 7 if it makes a huge impulsive move. And then once that 2 pip stop profit is in place, you can go to sleep, you can go to the gym, you can go to like other meetings, you can go and play with your kids at the playground, like whatever you need to do as a human. All right. Then on the hour, we go back to the hour now. So price goes up and then comes down, then goes up again. So what do we do with that stop loss? We keep trailing. That's why it's called a trailing stop profit. Because now, not only are you collecting the first initial 30 from that first order, but we're taking 2 trades at entry. We're pressing buy, 30 pip stop loss on one, the first one, or sorry, 30 pip stop loss on both. Okay. As soon as price goes 10 to 15 pips in profit, you take your stop loss from both orders and you put it 2 pips above the entry. Perfect. Then when that happens, you set your stop profits, they're done. You take one of the orders and you set a 30 pip take profit. And yeah, that 30 pip take profit is just indicated by this green box right here. It took that 30 pips and it automatically took that capital, that income, that generated money from the charts and just automatically puts it into your brokerage account. It just validates it and boom, straight into your account. If there's fees, there's fees. If there's spreads, whatever the case may be for your specific broker, yeah, that will happen too. But 30 pips into your brokerage account. Cool, perfect. So what's the scenario now? Price is a ceiling, broke the ceiling, became a floor. Price went 10 to 15 pips in profit. You secured your 2 pip stop profit. You hit your 30 pip take profit on one order. Then price went all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. So what are you doing while this is happening? You're just chilling. No stress. Trading shouldn't be stressful. If you're like freaking out when you look at the charts, something's going on and you should maybe reevaluate what you're actually doing here, what your actual goal is. So if you're valuing the progress and if you're valuing the actual like moving the needle forward rather than just focusing on the money on the screen, the blue numbers on the screen or even the red numbers on the screen. If you're focusing on that, then you maybe got this whole thing wrong. Or maybe you don't. But this is just my take on it. And if somebody explained this to me when I was first starting out, realizing that I could get ahead of this trend and just wait for the market to fully play out, fully exhaust what it's trying to do. And if I'm just like da, 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 moving my stop profit, da, 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 oh, it went up and went down. Okay, cool. So now you move it up just a little bit higher to go underneath this structure right here. Then price keeps going up, made a huge wick down, then went up again. What do? You take that stop profit, you put it below. So all you're doing is from this entry price, you have one order active with a stop profit just underneath structure. And the situation is this: if it goes and like goes up 100 pips, you just keep moving it up. And all you're doing is increasing the amount of profit that will go into your brokerage account once that stop profit eventually does get hit, because they always get hit. The market can't go up forever and the market can't go down forever. You are just in control of adjusting. You are just in control of getting on here or opening up your trading app on your phone and updating and just being present. Instead of scrolling on Instagram stories, instead of scrolling on Snapchat, TikTok, whatever it is, you're choosing to take actionable steps that will move the needle forward. So if that's the case, you keep doing that. Price went up and then went down. So you just keep moving it. So you're following structure. So just underneath it, just underneath it, just underneath it, just underneath it. Excuse me. Just underneath it. And then you see that price is moving towards it. It's like pretty much at the same spot over here. And then finally, price does an impulsive move downwards and boom, takes you out. So you're securing not only that 30, but you're from entry securing 162 plus the 30. So 192. And how much was this full move? 230. So imagine getting 190 of 230. Would you be mad about that? I'd say that's a pretty good 11 days and 14 hours. Or wait, hold on. So from entry, let's go right to where the trade happened, all the way to where you'd be taken out. Yeah, imagine 9 days and 2 hours. Imagine 9 days and 3 hours. You collected 194 pips. Depending on the capital and equity within your account, that could be $164. That could be $1,600, 16,000. Because the same concept that it takes to make $1 within these foreign exchange currency trading markets is the same concept that it takes to make $1 million in the market, or however much you choose. We all have access to the same information. It's just how we choose to position ourselves within that information and react with pure discipline, not emotion. Because, like I've said before, trading is just a transfer of wealth from the patient, or sorry, from the impatient to the patient. So it's just truly a matter of how patient are you? And what is your attitude when you're actually being patient? It's going to be different for everybody. But for those who actually truly dedicate themselves and put that time in and really commit, wow, amazing things can happen. Okay, so that's just one example of a trade that was trapped, broke, retested, and then flew up. Okay, what are we seeing now currently? Price do. It's trapped, it broke, retested, and if this was a ceiling and then a floor and then a ceiling and then not a floor, we're not looking for a buy. We're not looking for any more momentum to the upside. It looks like it exhausted it. We do see that this floor got broken and retested. So if the floor broke and it's becoming a ceiling, we're positioning ourselves in front of this trend just perfectly. So that if it were to retest all the way down back to these lows or back to even just the mid-range, it's going to be nice. It's going to be extremely nice. But going back to everything, though, it's just duplicating this purple box over and over again because the market does this break and retest pattern over and over and over again. And that's just all price action is. There's different ways to do this, and it looks different. What? Sticky keys? No thanks. But yeah, so I hope that makes sense to everybody. I hope that is making sense because that is like breakthroughs. If I saw an example like this at first, I would understand that, hey, it truly is about 90% mentality and 10% technical. Didn't take much for me to draw a ceiling or a floor. Didn't take much to wait for it to go up and then wait for it to go back into the box. And then you take an action, buy, set your risk, boom, price goes 10 to 15 pips, 2 pip stop profit, gets hit for 30 pips, then you trail, get taken out, boom. That's trading in a nutshell. Now it's going to take a lot of time and effort and patience and discipline to get to a point where that is just second nature to you, where you just hop on and you know what it is. And I'm not here to, discourage anybody if they're feeling like, man, like I'm just like not winning and like things just aren't going my way. Like, what is happening? What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. The fact that you're even on here, the fact that you're willing to watch either this recording or you're here live with me, which by the way, I see a lot of you on here. And my goodness, shout out to the people that are here because what we focus on grows. And it's just incredible. I've been blessed with this, and I know hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other people have also been blessed with this type of information. So I'm just truly grateful and blessed to be able to share that as well. So that is CAD JPY, which was called out in this price trap community. And I'm going to keep doing this because when I scroll back in a few years, I'm like, wow, this was a fun ride. This was a cool journey. It really, really was. And it was worth it. You know, all the late nights, all the sleepless nights, if you know, you know. And I know if your why is strong enough, the how truly doesn't matter. But yeah, let's get into the next one here. So Euro NZD, that was another one that we were looking at. And again, pretty interesting. So I called this one out. I think where's Steadroy at? Sent this one to Steadroy. Was it this one? No. Um, One sec, you guys. Sorry, this is okay. Is it this one? It must have been. UJ, no. I swear it's in here. Let's see. Yeah, Euro NZ. Okay, cool. So I called this pretty much out as it was breaking the ceiling, and I called it out. So at this time when I published it, cool. So we pretty much can go now to the present moment and see what has happened since then. So we'll go down to the 15-minute because we know it broke out. And would you look at that? Interesting. This was a ceiling. Price did a huge move to the upside, broke out of here, red candle, back into the zone. This candle, then green candle, boom. So what do? Now, I am going to do this because I feel as if it's very, very powerful because we're getting the trade from the harmonic scanner and we're also confirming with something called impulse. Yeah, shout out Steadroy because I've been really seeing a lot of progress within him and just the whole squad, and everybody's like really in mode right now, and it's just just amazing to see like what you can do and accomplish with just a little bit of ingenuity, just a little bit of innovation, and just a little bit of willpower, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. If not, all good. But yeah, let's see Euro NZD, what it looks like on this, what on impulse. So that's basically the steps. Step one, get the trade from the scanner. Okay, we did that. Step two, trap price. Okay, we did that. Ceiling and floor. Then wait for a break and a retest. Okay, wait for a break, did that. Wait for a retest. Okay, cool. It did that. It went back into the zone. Then confirm with impulse. That's the last step. And that's what I'm going to briefly go in. And then I'll also just jump into the scanner after that real quick. And then we will go ahead and see if there's anything else. If not, we can back test. But look, Euro NZD is looking like an uptrend with a strength of 30. So all good things. Let's see, what time frame is this? 15-minute. Fantastic. Let's go on the hour just to see. Would you look at that? It is in the blue or above and in the red or above. That's pretty much your confirmation to enter position. Now trade at your own risk. This is not saying to enter the position. But if I was following the steps and if I was following my trade strategy and prices above the blue and about to be above the red because it's pointing towards the red, you could be a little bit more patient and wait for something like this to fully go above the red line. And it looks like it's doing that even on the 5, where you could get, like I said before, get surgical with it. Really see what it's doing. See, so in this example right here, this blue candle is pretty much saying, hey, this is something that we want to be looking at. Just this candle right here. Drew a vertical line showcasing that candle that it's going through. Is it above the red? Yes. Is it in the blue or above? Yes. Trap price, wait for break and retest, confirm with impulse, parameters, risk management 0.1 per 100. Boom, it's wraps. It's game over. But who's willing to stick to that? Who's willing to put the time in for that? Who is it? Raise your hand. And it's fun because I know that this is all learnable and it's all teachable as well. And I'm just proud of everything that I've seen transpire in the past few years and what's about to come in the next 20. Exciting. Now, for those hardcores, we're on the 1 minute now. And look at where price is. It's above the red and it's in the blue or above. Interesting. Interesting. Let's hide the arrows for a second. Yeah, so just to put it in perspective, this was our break. This tip up here was the breakout. And this looks like the retest. And then this is the momentum going forward. Because if you count 15, that's a 15-minute candle. If you count another 15, that's another 15 candle. It closed another candle above. So it looks like for right now, it's confirming. Pointing upwards. It's in the red or above. It's oversold. So we're looking for a buy. And it's in the blue or above. And about to be way above the blue on this bottom area. So it's all color coded and it's all there and it's all accessible. Closed mouths don't get fed. To get access to this, you know where to find me, all my socials, in the telegrams, in the chats. And yeah, I just want to do kind of this demonstration. I will go on to, but this is making sense so far to everybody. I'm going to go into the scanner because I said I would. And then for the last 5 minutes, I'm going to throw it out to anybody who has questions or wants me to go over any pairs really quick. So we have 7 minutes left. It's just going to see if there's anything for right now. If there isn't, we're going to continue to focus on the ones that we already have from the previous sessions. So if we look, this was called out about 2 hours ago, kind of a small pattern. Is it high or low in the market? No, it's kind of like in the middle of everything. So not really something that we're looking at. All good. NZD JPY, cool. 2 hours ago, smaller pattern. And what I mean by smaller pattern is if we take it from like this wick here, if we were to draw a zone there and it retested and went up, 48 pips, like not bad. But we're trying to like triple or quadruple that, at least for targets, just because of structure. Now, for this one specifically, is it really, really high up or really, really low down? Yeah, it's pretty high up. It is pretty high up, but just because of the scan, not really. Like this is for a continuation. So I'm really kind of looking for the bigger patterns for the shift in momentums. That's the ones that are like truly, truly desirable. 80 NZD again, not really that desirable. OddCAD, GBP, JPY, definitely something that's like intriguing. Definitely something to add to the arsenal because it is, in the grand scheme of things, pretty low, and it is looking to pretty much like call out a shift in momentum. But for it to be clean, I would say that would be your ceiling, and that would be your floor right there. And I wouldn't even consider getting into a long or a buy position unless it broke this ceiling and became a floor and confirmed on impulse. So for that one, GBP odd. Wow, this one's really amazing. I'm going to send this one out into the chats because I really like it. And we're just going to do a quick. So if we were to catch a break and a retest of this, that looks like, roughly 800 to 900 pips. These are the ones that we want to look for. These ones. Because massive pattern. You can't even see the candles on the chart yet. You have to scroll like literally right into the chart for the candles to even become clear. See, there they are. But you can only see like a little bit of the pattern. That's a good thing. It means that the market is looking to reverse momentum, and scanner is goated, in my opinion. But yeah, so I'm gonna quickly draw this one up, and then I'm gonna check to see if anybody has any questions in the chats. Let's see. Yeah, okay, awesome. So what was that one? It was GBP odd. So let's go and find GBP odd before I end it off here. Okay, so on the 1 hour, this is what it looks like. So all we're simply going to do is what we do best. Take our rectangle tool, draw it from this to that wick, just because it makes it look the cleanest. We're going to shoot everything and then we're going to go ahead and mark up the floor from that wick right there, the bottomest wick, to these 4 candles over here. See how they're all on the same line? So it means that it was a major area where price respected it. Basically went into it and went away from it. And so now, step number 1, get the trade from the scanner. Complete. Step number 2, trap price. Complete. Step number 3, wait for this, which is a break and a retest, and then entry, and shift in momentum. And then if that doesn't happen, the only way I'm going to be looking to sell it or get into a short is if it breaks this floor, becomes a ceiling, and drops. And now another thing that you can add as well to make your life a lot more easier is alerts. You basically put alerts on these zones to when price is crossing through it. So that way you could be wherever, and your phone is going to literally synchronize with your TradingView app. So whatever you just drew on the screen, if it's on your, here's my cell phone right here. If it's on your TradingView app, it's going to literally look the exact same. So I'll just go to GBP odd, and what do you know? It's synchronized, and literally what I just drew up here went to my cell phone. So now, patience. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you got some value from this, and hope you have a wonderful night. I'll send this into the chats, and we will see you on the next session.